Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sean Lahetta, and I'm an 18-year-old senior at Central Bucks East High School. I am also a For Pete's Sake traveler. Today, we celebrate the 20th anniversary of this event to benefit For Pete's Sake. 20 years ago, a man I will never meet, Peter R. Basso Jr., chose to help families like mine and provide us a break from cancer. When Pete was my age, I'm sure he had no idea what life had in store for him, and how his legacy would impact so many families facing cancer. I can imagine he dreamt of a life filled with love, family, friends, and a great career, and most importantly, fun. At 18, Peter had already met Marcy, his love of his life. Cancer at that time wasn't a part of his vision. I'm sure he never could imagine the joy and hope he would provide to a young man like me. Thank you, Pete. And thank you to all of you who have made such a lasting impression upon my life story. I come from a family of 6. I have 2 sisters who are 22 and 9, and a brother who is 13. 2 loving parents. We lived a fairly normal life in Doylestown, PA, until one gloomy fall day 3 years ago, when my world was turned upside down. On that dreadful fall day, my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. The doctors at that time had only given him a few months to live. Although my dad battled cancer when he was in his 20s, his biggest challenge was still yet to come, 30 years later. He immediately started treatment. After multiple visits to the oncologist, we learned that he had neuroendocrine pancreatic cancer. This type of pancreatic cancer is extremely rare, it's less aggressive, and it's slower growing. Surprisingly enough, this was good news for my family, because it gave us all hope that he would be around much longer than first expected. My dad seemed to be full of surprises while battling cancer. In August of 2016, when he was on chemo, he managed to run a 5K, hosted at my local high school, Central Bucks East. His attitude during all of this cannot be described. It was truly out of this world. He was able to surpass the life expectancy he had been given by some of the most renowned doctors in Philadelphia. He was well enough most of the time to be able to go on many memorable adventures with our family. This time gave us so many opportunities to create memories that will last a lifetime. During my dad's battle, we were introduced to a variety of different cancer organizations that could provide assistance for us along the way. But one that stood out the most to our family and quickly became our favorite was For Pete's Sake Cancer Respite Foundation. In May of 2016, FPS sent my family and I on a respite vacation to their beautiful home in Davenport, Florida. On this trip, we created so many memories. For Pete's Sake truly allowed us to take a break from cancer. We got to spend time laughing together and having fun and reconnecting as a family. My favorite memory of the trip was when we went to the beach. It was just nice to relax and enjoy each other's company away from all the amusement parks. Our FPS respite inspired us to spend more and more time together and travel. In the past 3 years, we visited Florida, again, North Carolina, New York, and many other fun locations. After returning from FPS respite, my family thought it was only right to give back to the organization and provide other families like ours much needed breaks from cancer. My dad and my family came up with the idea of organizing a color race at my local high school. This was another opportunity for my family to come together and work on organizing a fun event to benefit For Pete's Sake. The event was a success, and on April 14th, this year, we will be hosting our 3rd annual For Pete's Sake color race. This past spring, my dad's condition worsened and he was put on hospice. Although he was no longer receiving treatment, he continued to take painkillers daily. Through all of his suffering, he made every day worthwhile. Spending more and more time with each of us, he was strong and never let his condition stop him. Throughout the battle, he had indirectly taught me so much. He taught me to put my family above anything else. He did everything for us. He taught me to never back down, and lastly, he taught us to always see the positives in life. And much of the knowledge he passed on to me, I use today to better myself and plan to use in my future. Unfortunately, this past July, my dad passed away. My family and I miss him so much every day. His passing has been extremely hard on my family. To me, he wasn't only a dad, but he was my hero. Anyone that had the chance to meet him would agree that he was an amazing person, comedic, and always full of energy. I'd be remiss if I didn't take a moment to thank another very important person in my life, my mom, Suzanne, who is here with me tonight. She has been the rock in our family for the past 4 years. As my dad's caregiver, she stood by his every side, every step of the way. While trying to keep life as normal as possible for me and my siblings, she truly is amazing. I love you, Mom. I stand here today in front of all of you, grateful for all the support and funds that have been raised over the past 20 years by this event. I thank you for showing a teenage boy that has been scared and hurting that there is kindness in the world. I thank you for giving my family and I treasured time with my dad. I thank you on behalf of the 1,000 other children who have been impacted by Pete's legacy and our generosity. And finally, I thank you all for allowing me to share my story with you tonight.